Hovering over the Earth, the watchful eyes do the job of reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. They also engage in spy wars. In a scenario reminiscent of the Cold War, the Americans are spooked by a Russian spacecraft dubbed the Cosmos 2576. The Pentagon says the Russian satellite is tailing its satellite that was launched in 2021. While the Russian satellite has not directly approached the US satellite, its presence in the same orbital ring has set the alarm bells ringing.
Russia launched a satellite into low Earth orbit that we assess is likely a counterspace weapon, presumably capable of attacking other satellites in low Earth orbit. Russia deployed this new counterspace weapon into the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite.
The United States Space Command wasted no time in labeling Cosmos 2576 a counter-space weapon. Their assessment suggests this Russian spacecraft is capable of attacking other satellites in low Earth orbit. Moscow swiftly denied any aggressive intent, dismissing Washington's claims as malicious and unfounded. Russia asserts that the Cosmos 2576 is purely for inspection. Earlier, President Vladimir Putin denied the US assertions in February that Russia was developing a space-based anti-satellite nuclear weapon to disrupt everything from military communications to phone-based ride services. The legacy of the Cold War echoes in the silent void above, where technology, ideology, and national security intersect. The stakes are high, but the potential to impact the future of space exploration. Will cooperation pave the way for peaceful exploration, or will mistrust and suspicion lead to an arms race in space as well?
An American surveillance satellite or satellites doesn't change anything at present about the capabilities of the United States. But as a potential change that it could cause, that is quite significant. It seems that the deployed Russian satellite may be a nuclear weapon, actually, whose blast could not just destroy one satellite, but conceivably hundreds or thousands, based on the spread of the radiation and the blast force. So the potential ramifications are huge, but it's more, I think, setting up a capability by the Russians than at present changing the current structure of forces and capabilities.
And in your expert opinion, what are the implications of this incident on the militarization of space? And, you know, there was talk in the beginning of the Biden administration that perhaps the United States and Russia could work together on a number of issues. And one of them would have been to establish clear boundaries to prevent an arms race in space. Now, given this incident, there seems to be growing concern.
Well, I think we're past concern to actually decades now, although diplomats on all sides have been trying to say that there's a possible peaceful future, which is true. But there have been treaties about to ban the militarization of space, the use of space for any military purpose for as long as humans have traveled into space, which is my lifetime, 65 years or so. However, treaties are honored when it's in the interest of the signatories to honor them. And when tensions grow in the estimation of one side or the other to a point where they perceive greater national interest in doing what they wish rather than what the treaty says, that will happen, whether it's in space or on land. In the 1920s, the major global powers negotiated a limitation on the size of warships, and that was honored until it was not. And I don't mean to be facetious or flippant, but that's what happened, and we then had the devastation of World War II. Similarly, in space, there have been efforts to limit militarization. But since tensions are clearly great between Russia and the United States, between China and the United States, and with a growing number of space powers, you're seeing pressure on the agreements that is now passing the bounds, and we're starting to see the militarization to space, and I expect that will continue.
All right, very interesting stuff. Thank you so much for that thorough analysis, Glenn Carl, joining us from Boston, Massachusetts. Glenn, I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
And you, thanks.